And I think people that spend all day streaming pay a significant psychological price for it.
Mm. I think
Like
that's fair.
Like our absolute boy Destiny. Did you see my conversations with him?
I have seen them, yes.
All of them? Or did you watch the whole 3 hour thing?
No, that's a lot of both of you to take, but I feel like I sort of saw snippets of it and all that. Like you have, I don't know, like there's some people that when they interact with Destiny, they just like really want to like figure out Destiny, and that is kind of like,
oh, that's me,
like
totally.
You have that impulse, and I just feel like,
of course,
I'm just not that interested in him as an individual to sort of understand what makes him tick in this kind of like deep psychological way, or to constantly sort of test the limits of his philosophy with like extreme edge cases and all the rest of this, which is something that I notice how a lot of like young people prefer to engage with sort of public commentators, is to just like really kind of like, well, we have to get like the exact parameters of their ideology, and we have to ask them all of these theoretical what if questions in order to sort of figure out what is the limits of their ideology and all that. And that's just like kind of like less interesting to me. But you're right, like in the sense that a lot of streaming it just has to fill the space allocated for it.
Well,
so you kind of have conversations about everything and anything under the sun just to fill that 8 hours or however long he.
Yeah, and I think when you spend hours a day training yourself to rationalize things, you really train that muscle and you build that as a defense mechanism. First, I'm interested in people in general. I love psychology. I love the introspection of myself. I like learning from other people. Destiny's obviously one of the major figures, so just naturally, like, hey, are you trying to get into like actual on the ground politics? Which it sounds like he is, or he's done that already, but he's trying to get more involved, like running a ground campaign, which is interesting. And I'm also aware that we're probably starting off the fucking video talking about Destiny. I do not want to be a Destiny orbiter.
He's dangerously on the fringe of that.
I know. Well, he orbits me. Just like so. You and Destiny are my orbiters. Okay. I honestly, after the second conversation, I'm sure I'll talk to him again. Maybe like, I don't know, a month or two. I think once every like couple of months is a good cadence to talk to him. Because I guess I am just curious of like, he's obviously very intelligent and, well known and rhetorically gifted. So he's just interesting, like, hey, I fundamentally disagree with him on these issues. And I just like to present it in a way and be like, how do you, see this? Like, that's interesting to me. It's probably from my, propensity to internalize conflict because, I grew up in a household that was just constantly fighting all the time. And so it was like, if one of my parents thought ill about another one of my parents, be like, well, hold on, if you think this, then how come you aren't addressing it with them? Like, why are you just sitting on this or whatever? And so I don't know, extracting it out of people to get to the root of the issue is interesting.